Consumer Reports just released their new compact SUV rankings, and the Honda CR-V came in 10th place out of 26. Think about that for a second. The vehicle that invented this entire category just watched 9 competitors walk right past it. Now, 10th place doesn't mean the CR-V suddenly became a bad vehicle. It means something worse. It means Honda is asking more than $30,000 for an SUV that the rest of the market quietly outgrew while nobody was paying attention. I went through the full report, the road test results, and the owner survey numbers, so you don't have to. Their testers laid out 5 reasons to think twice before buying one, and I'm counting all 5 down for you, worst last. And number 1 is the one that ought to make you angry. It has nothing to do with the engine, and nothing to do with how the thing drives. It's a choice Honda made on purpose to save themselves a few dollars on the exact version they advertise with the lowest price. If you've been holding on to your older Honda instead of trading up to this one, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to feel pretty good about that decision. Number 5. The cabin Honda forgot to finish. Climb inside a brand new 2026 CR-V and run your hand across the dashboard. You're looking at a vehicle that costs over 30 grand, and your fingers are finding hard plastic, rough edges, and gaps between the panels. The testers at Consumer Reports tore into this exact issue. They flagged the panel gaps, they flagged a steering wheel that feels cheap in your hands, and they flagged visible mold lines in the plastic. Those are the little ridges left over from the factory, the ones a careful manufacturer polishes away before anything reaches a showroom. Even the seats came up short on adjustment and support compared to what rivals give you. Here's the part nobody says out loud. Honda knows the badge carries a reputation, so the cabin is where they quietly claw their money back. You're paying for the name on the grille, and they're betting that name keeps you from noticing what's actually around you. And you don't need a test lab to check their work. Next time you're near a dealer, sit in one, then walk across the street and sit in the competition. The difference the testers measured is a difference you can feel in about 90 seconds with your own 2 hands. Now, I'll give Honda one genuine bright spot. Every 2026 model finally gets a 9-inch screen with a real volume knob, a dedicated home button, and wireless phone connection for both major systems. That was the right move, arriving about 3 years late. So here's the takeaway on this one. Before you sign anything, sit in the exact trim you're actually buying, not the loaded one the salesman keeps steering you toward. Grip the wheel, press on the door panels, and ask yourself whether this feels like the money they're asking. Your hands will tell you the truth faster than any brochure ever will. Number 4, the ride wears on you mile after mile. The new CR-V rides firm, and I don't mean sporty firm. I mean the kind of firm that sends every patch of broken pavement straight up through the seat, hour after hour, until a 2-hour drive starts feeling like 4. The Consumer Reports test team was direct about this. The suspension keeps the body well controlled, and they admitted it's better than the previous generation. But they were just as clear about the ceiling, because it can't touch the Subaru Forester for comfort, and it doesn't come close to Mazda's balance of ride and handling. Dealers have a script ready for this one. When you mention the stiffness on a test drive, they'll smile and call it a sporty, European-style ride. What they won't tell you is that a taut suspension is simply the cheaper way to make a tall vehicle handle safely, and calling it sporty turns a cost decision into a selling point. Put a CR-V and a Forester over the same stretch of frost-heaved back road on the same afternoon, and the difference stops being subtle. The Forester rounds off the hits and settles down between them. The CR-V reports every single impact directly to your spine, and neither vehicle is broken. One was simply built by people who made comfort the priority, and the rankings reflect exactly that. And remember, that's how it rides brand new, with fresh struts and full cushion in every bushing. Suspension only gets harsher as it wears, which means whatever firmness you feel on the test drive is the softest that vehicle will ever feel for the rest of its life. The fix here costs you nothing but an afternoon. Take the test drive on the worst road you actually use every day, instead of the smooth loop the dealership picked on purpose. If it bothers you at mile 3, believe what your back is telling you, because mile 30,000 is going to be worse. Now, a stiff ride is something a man can learn to live with. What's sitting under the hood of most CR-Vs on that lot is a different kind of problem, the kind you feel every single time you try to merge onto a highway. And the test numbers behind it are worse than most buyers realize. Number 3, the engine runs out of breath when you need it most. Around town, the standard CR-V does its job. The 190 horsepower Turbo 4 cruises quietly, and the continuously variable transmission keeps the revs low while you're running errands. That's the version of the car you meet on a gentle test drive, and it's the version the salesman wants you to remember. Then you try to merge onto a highway with traffic bearing down, or climb a long grade with the family on board. The transmission lets the revs soar, The engine takes on a gritty, strained character past 4,500 revolutions per minute, and the confidence you thought you bought just isn't there. The test numbers back up the feeling. Consumer Reports clocked the new CR-V at 8.8 seconds from 0 to 60. Here's the detail that should bother you more than the number itself. That's about half a second slower than the previous CR-V, the older, smaller, lighter one. Honda built a newer vehicle that lost a foot race to its own past. And here's the part that tells you Honda knows. They already make the fix because the CR-V hybrid is quicker, smoother, and more efficient, and the testers called it one of the sweetest hybrid systems on the market. Then, Honda locked it behind the higher trims, so the only way to get the good engine is to climb the price ladder. So if the CR-V is still on your list after everything you've heard, the move is simple. Skip the standard turbo engine entirely and go straight to the hybrid, which is exactly what the testers concluded too. Just walk in knowing that decision was made for you by the trim sheet, not by choice. While we're on engines, tell me something in the comments. What are you driving right now, and how many miles are on it? I read every one of them, and so do thousands of folks trying to figure out what actually lasts. Your driveway is data too. Quick reminder before we hit the last two, because they're the ones that sting. If you'd rather hear what the numbers actually say than a sales pitch from a lot, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it takes 1 second, and it tells the algorithm to put this in front of the next person about to sign for one of these. Number 2, you're paying more and getting less. Consumer Reports doesn't just test vehicles, they survey the people who own them, and CR-V owners handed in a verdict that should stop you at the dealership door. On value, the question of whether the vehicle was worth what they paid, owners scored it 46 out of 100. The people who already bought one are telling you they wouldn't call it a good deal. The price sheet explains why. The base model climbed from $30,100 last year to $30,920 for 2026, and the destination fee quietly crept up to $1,450 on top of that. The EX with all-wheel drive, the exact configuration the testers bought, went from $33,850 to $34,650 in a single year. A retired teacher I got to talking with outside Green Bay priced one of these this summer. The same trim she'd looked at back in 2023, when it stickered at $32,610, now runs $2,040 more, and she couldn't point to $2,000 of new car for the money. She kept her old one, and after what you've heard today, that's starting to look like the smart play. Now, to be fair, prices are climbing across the whole industry, and Honda isn't alone in this. But that's exactly the point. When everything costs more, the question stops being what's cheap and becomes what's worth it. And on that question, the owners themselves just answered with a 46. Which brings us to number 1, the reason I said should make you angry. Because after asking you for more than 30 grand, and after raising the price 2 years running, Honda still left something off the cheapest CR-V that the safety experts say belongs on every new car sold. It would cost them almost nothing. They left it off anyway, and here's exactly what it is. Number 1, the safety features Honda left off the cheapest one. Here it is, the base CR-V, the LX, the one with the price Honda puts in the advertisements, ships without blind spot warning and without rear cross traffic warning. Let me tell you exactly what those two systems do, because this matters. Blind spot warning watches the lane beside you and lights up when a car is sitting exactly where your mirrors can't see it. Rear cross traffic warning watches behind you when you're backing out of a parking spot, and it catches the vehicle coming down the row before you ever could. If your neck doesn't swivel like it did at 25, those two systems are doing the checking your body used to do. Consumer Reports has said for years that both features belong on every new car sold, no exceptions. That's not my opinion. That's the position of the safety testers with the data in front of them. And here's the detail that turns this from a shortcoming into a choice. For 2026, Honda made both features standard on every single other trim of the CR-V. Everyone, except the cheapest. So the sensors are developed, the software is written, and the parts are already flowing down the same assembly line. The cost to Honda of putting them on the base model is next to nothing. Leaving them off isn't about what it costs to build. It's about giving you a reason to spend more, and they're using your safety to do it. Think about who buys the base model. It's the buyer watching every dollar, the one who looked at that advertised price and stretched to make it work. That's the person Honda decided could go without the two features that watch the spots aging eyes can't. The tester's long-standing advice is blunt, and I'll repeat it. If you buy a CR-V at all, buy at least the EX, because the base trim isn't the bargain, it's the bait. And if you're going to spend EX money anyway, look at what else that buys. The same testers who put the CR-V 10th put the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid first, at 89 points to the CR-V's 79. It starts at $31,900. It comes only as a hybrid now, and it returned 40 miles per gallon overall in their testing against the standard CR-V's 26. Same size, same job, top of the class instead of the middle of the pack, and it burns 2/3 the fuel doing it. So let's put the whole picture back together. A cabin that feels cheaper than the price, a ride that wears on you, an engine that's slower than the one it replaced, owners scoring the value at 46 out of 100, and safety equipment held hostage on the trim ladder. Not one of those is a breakdown, and that's exactly the point. The CR-V didn't fail, it just stopped being special, and Honda kept charging like it never noticed. If you're driving an older Honda right now, paid off, running strong, this report is your permission slip to keep it. You weren't being cheap, you were being early. And here's your homework before you sign anything on any lot. Pull up the trim sheet and check which safety features are actually on the version you're buying, not the version in the commercial. Then take your test drive on the worst road you know. 2 minutes of checking beats 7 years of payments on the wrong vehicle. Now, if this video opened your eyes, the next one is going to hold them open. Consumer Reports didn't just rank the CR-V this year, they pulled their recommendation entirely off more than a dozen brand new vehicles, some from badges your family has trusted for 50 years. I counted all of them down, worst last, and it's on your screen right now, on the left. Give it a click, and I'll see you there.